Let's make this quick. Why do we shoot at 24 frames per second, or 23.976 depending on how you look at it? When you start out filmmaking, this is probably one of the first questions you have. We're told that you set the camera settings to 24 FPS, a 148 or 180 degree shutter angle, and to experiment with the rest. But why have we decided as filmmakers to stay with 24 FPS? Well, in today's video, I want to briefly look over the history of frame rates, why we use 24 frames per second, and why we haven't switched to 30, 60, or even 120. So, up until the release of The Jazz Singer in 1927, all films were originally shot in 16 FPS, and this is because they didn't contain any diegetic dialogue. Now, this frame rate is sort of a bottleneck for what we would consider moving picture, but in the beginning, there really wasn't a need for a faster rate. However, nowadays, we see silent movies sped up, and this is because projectors now play at 24 frames per second, slightly but noticeably faster than the 16 frames the film was shot at. Now, in films from Buster Keaton and some from Chaplin, this works incredibly well because it amplifies the comedic effect that these filmmakers were going after. However, there will be some examples where it doesn't work as well. So why do we use 24 FPS? Well, it's to do with the fact that it's believed to be the lowest possible frame rate that makes motion appear natural to the human eye. You've probably also seen the use of 25 frames per second in the PAL format, which is used for TV outside of North America, and 30 frames per second for TV inside of North America, Mexico, Taiwan, and a few others. But 24 frames per second is widely what we use for narrative film and TV shows. I could fill this segment with other reasons, but it's really that simple. We use 24 FPS because it looks natural and works. But there are films that have been released in frame rates other than 24. The Hobbit used 48, some versions of Inland Empire used 60, Gemini Man was 120, and even when Avatar was re-released, James Cameron used 48 frames per second, and it looks like he'll do the same for The Way of Water. Naturally, this doesn't look right to us though. I know when I watched The Hobbit, something felt off, and I don't think I would have been able to get through Gemini Man in theatres without going crazy. There is definitely space for this frame rate in filmmaking though, and as we move forward, I think we can expect to see it much more. But again, to cut a long story short, it's because it looks natural. So sorry I couldn't get the Pearl video out today. The video is written and the voiceover is recorded, but I'm having a lot of trouble in the editing department. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know what to do if you did. If you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thanks so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.